I have actually avoided success. Oh, no. You know why? Because when you are successful and rich, people will envy you and hate you. And I want people to love me.
The woman who won an Oscar nomination for the movie Claudine was never supposed to be in it. The film that fans have loved for decades was born from a terrible tragedy and a heartbreaking promise made to a dying friend. The entire story of this classic movie and the lives of its cast was shaped by a secret that most people never knew. What really happened behind the scenes is a story far more dramatic than the one on screen. The heartbreak of Diana Sands.
My friend Diana Sands was to play Claudine, and she became ill, and they were trying to find someone to replace her.
Before Diane Carroll became Claudine, another brilliant actress held the role. Her name was Diana Sands, and this movie was her dream. Sands was not just another actress hired for a job. She was a powerful force in Hollywood. She had been nominated for major awards like the Emmys and the Tonys. She was a respected star known for her incredible talent on stage and screen, especially in the famous play A Raisin in the Sun. But her connection to Claudine was even deeper. In 1971, she helped create a new film company called Third World Cinema Corporation. This company was special because it was run by minority artists who wanted to tell their own stories. They wanted to make movies with black and other minority actors in the lead roles, showing real parts of their lives that Hollywood usually ignored. Claudine was set to be their very first movie. This film was Diana Sands' baby, her passion project that she was bringing to the world. The original script was written by a husband and wife team, Lester and Tina Pine. They first imagined the story taking place in Watts, Los Angeles. But when Diana's New York-based company took over, the location was moved to Harlem in New York City. This change made the story feel even more personal, as it was set in a place with a rich history for black culture. Filming began in the hot summer of August 1973. Diana Sands stepped onto the set as Claudine, ready to bring her character to life. But after only 1 week of shooting, something went terribly wrong. Diana was secretly battling cancer, a terrible illness that was taking all her strength. Her co-star, James Earl Jones, was an old friend of hers. During a rehearsal for one of their romantic scenes together, he noticed something was wrong. He saw her wince in pain, a small sign that she was suffering deeply. Soon, Diana could no longer hide her illness. She collapsed on set and was rushed to the hospital. It became clear she could not continue filming. She was too sick to finish the movie that meant so much to her. But even in her hospital bed, her only thought was for her film. She knew the project had to go on. She had one person in mind, someone she trusted completely to take her place. As soon as she could speak, she kept asking everyone, "When is Diane coming? Have you sent for her yet? What are you waiting for?" The Diane she was talking about was Diane Carroll. The two women were not just Hollywood colleagues. They were friends who had known each other since they were little girls. They grew up in the same Harlem neighborhood where the movie was being filmed. They had gone to elementary school together, tutoring each other in school subjects and talking about hair and clothes. Diane had even helped Diana get a job once when they were young. Now, Diana was returning the favor in the most tragic way possible. She was giving her friend the role of a lifetime, a role she herself could no longer play. Diana Sands passed away in September 1973, just a month after filming began. She never got to see her dream movie finished, but her spirit stayed with the production. Every actor, every scene was touched by her memory. Diane Carroll stepped into the role not just as an actress, but as a friend fulfilling a final wish. The film Claudine became Diana Sands' legacy, a powerful story brought to life by the people who loved her. The glamour girl and the gentle giant.
It's friendship. She had the opportunity to do for me what I had done for her.
With the weight of a friend's last wish on her shoulders, Diane Carroll became Claudine. But many people thought she was the wrong choice. Diane Carroll was known for being beautiful, elegant, and glamorous. She had made history on television with her show Julia. In that series, she played a successful middle-class nurse who was a single mother. It was a groundbreaking role because it was the first time a black woman starred in a TV series in a role that was not a maid or a servant. America saw her as polished and sophisticated. The character of Claudine was the complete opposite. Claudine was a mother of 6 children living on welfare in a small Harlem apartment. She was overworked, stressed, and struggling to survive. She was not supposed to be glamorous at all. Some people whispered that Diane Carroll was just too pretty for the part, but Diane was determined to honor her friend Diana and prove them wrong. To transform herself, she did something simple but clever. She decided to highlight what she thought was her least flattering feature, her forehead. In almost every scene in the movie, her hair is pulled back tightly, showing her entire forehead. It was a small trick to make her look more ordinary and tired, less like a TV star. Her dedication went even further. She knew this role was incredibly important, so she spent her entire salary from the movie to hire an acting coach. She wanted to explore every part of Claudine's character to make her performance as real and honest as possible. The man playing opposite her, James Earl Jones, was also not the first choice for his role. The part of Rupert, or Roop, the garbage collector who falls in love with Claudine, was originally going to be played by another actor named Bernie Hamilton. But because James Earl Jones was such a close friend of Diana Sands, he was brought into the movie. He felt a deep connection to the project because of her. At that time, in the 1970s, movies with black lead actors were often blaxploitation films. These movies featured cool, tough heroes who were often called super studs or super pimps. James Earl Jones decided to do something completely different. He did not want Roop to be like those characters. Instead, he looked back at his own life. He grew up in the country, and he imagined that Roop was a country boy at heart, just like him. He created a character who was a gentle, kind, and honorable man. Roop was a man who knew the value of treating a woman with respect and courting her properly. This was a quiet but powerful choice. It went against everything that was popular at the time. The love scenes between Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones felt exceptionally real and tender. There were moments like Roop drawing a hot bubble bath for Claudine, only to find the exhausted mother had fallen asleep in the tub. Together, these two replacement actors made brave choices. Diane Carroll risked her glamorous image to show the struggle of a poor mother with dignity. James Earl Jones rejected the tough guy stereotype to show a gentle, loving black man. These choices are what made Claudine so special and revolutionary. It was a film that showed the real, everyday lives of black working-class people with humor and heart, something rarely seen in cinemas at the time. The shock of an Oscar nomination.
The press agent said to me, "You have been nominated for Best Actress by the Academy."
Claudine was not a big Hollywood blockbuster. It was a small independent film made by a new company with very little money. Its goal was to tell an honest story, not to win fancy awards. The actors poured their hearts into it, especially Diane Carroll, who was working to honor her friend's memory. When the movie was finished and released, no one expected what would happen next. Diane Carroll decided to take a much-needed vacation. She went to Mexico to rest and get away from the pressures of Hollywood. One afternoon, she was lying on the beach, taking a nap in the sun. Suddenly, someone from the hotel staff came to get her. They told her there was a very important phone call that could not wait. They had to interrupt her nap. She walked from the beach to the phone, wondering what could be so urgent. On the other end of the line was her press agent, a man named David Horowitz. He said to her, "You have been nominated for Best Actress by the Academy." Diane was in complete shock. She could not believe what she was hearing. She replied, "Are you serious?" She knew Claudine was just a little independent film. It was not the kind of movie that usually got the attention of the Academy Awards. She was astonished. Her agent told her he was very serious. Then he gave her firm instructions. He said, "You pack your bag and you come home immediately." He explained that this was a very important moment in history, and she could not downplay it. He was right. At that time, very few black women had ever been nominated for the Best Actress Oscar. Dorothy Dandridge was one of the first, and now Diahann Carroll was following in her footsteps. So she packed her bags and flew home. The news began to sink in, and she was thrilled about it. The nomination was more than just a personal achievement. It was a huge victory for everyone who worked on Claudine. It was proof that their small, heartfelt movie had touched people. The Academy was recognizing a story about a black mother on welfare, a character so different from what was usually seen on screen. The voice of an empire and a king.
You bring the kids to my house Saturday night, we'll make the announcement official.
While Diahann Carroll was celebrated for her deeply human portrayal of Claudine, her co-star James Earl Jones was about to become famous for something entirely different. His journey to stardom was a remarkable story of overcoming a great personal challenge. When he was a little boy, he moved from Mississippi to Michigan to live with his grandparents. The change was so traumatic for him that he developed a severe stutter. It was so bad that he almost stopped speaking entirely. For years, he was mostly mute, communicating by writing things down instead of talking. His life changed because of a teacher in high school. The teacher saw that James was a talented writer and encouraged him to read a poem he wrote out loud in front of the class. To everyone's surprise, especially his own, he recited the poem perfectly without stuttering. That moment unlocked his powerful voice, and he began to pursue acting. After his gentle and warm performance as Roop in Claudine in 1974, his career took a dramatic turn. In 1977, he took a voice acting job that would make him a legend. He became the voice of one of the most famous villains in movie history, Darth Vader in Star Wars. His deep, commanding voice sent chills down the spines of audiences everywhere. He was so good that he voiced the character for decades. Then, in 1994, he used that same powerful voice for a very different kind of character. He became the voice of the wise and noble king Mufasa in Disney's The Lion King. From the ultimate villain to the perfect father, his voice became recognized and loved by millions of people all over the world. He played kings, admirals, and other powerful figures in many other movies, like Coming to America and The Hunt for Red October. But here is a secret that most fans never figured out. Despite becoming world famous for these huge, iconic voice roles, James Earl Jones always held a special place in his heart for Claudine. He later said that playing Roop, the honorable garbage man in love, gave him more satisfaction than many of his other famous films. He loved playing a real, down-to-earth man who was trying to do the right thing. The gentle, working-class character he created to honor his friend Diana Sands remained one of his proudest achievements. The man behind the voice of emperors and kings found his greatest joy in playing a simple man with a good heart. The Children of Claudine.
Did anybody clean that kitchen today?
I cleaned it, Mom. No, she did not clean it. I cleaned it.
Okay.
Hey, put that back on. Put that back on.
Claudine's apartment was filled with the chaos and energy of her 6 children. They were played by a group of talented young actors, each with their own dreams. But what happened to them after the movie became a hit? Their stories reveal the unpredictable and often difficult path of being a child star in Hollywood. For everyone who finds lasting fame, many others simply fade away. The one who became a true star was Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. He played Charles, Claudine's oldest and most serious son. Claudine was his very first movie, and he was only 19 years old when he filmed it. His career exploded almost overnight. The very next year, in 1975, he starred in another classic film called Cooley High, playing a popular basketball player named Cochise. But his biggest break came that same year on television. He was cast as Freddie Boom Boom Washington on the hugely popular sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter. The show was about a teacher and his group of funny high school students called the Sweat Hogs. Lawrence starred alongside a young John Travolta, and he became a household name. After that, he never stopped working. He appeared in the historic miniseries Roots, played Joe Jackson in The Jacksons, An American Dream, and has acted in dozens of movies and TV shows over the last 50 years. But what about the other 5 children? Their paths were very different. The second oldest child, the pro-black activist daughter Charlene, was played by Tamu Blackwell. After Claudine, she acted in a few other movies, including the 1984 film Streets of Fire. But after that, she chose to leave the acting world behind. As of 2020, she was reportedly living a quiet life in Oakland, California, far from the Hollywood spotlight. Fans have made tribute videos for her online, calling her a great, underrated actress they have not forgotten. From there, the stories of Claudine's children become even more mysterious. The actress who played the daughter Patrice was named Yvette Curtis. One report says she was cast in the movie when she was just 11 years old. This report claims she went on to study at famous performing arts schools in New York and even performed on Broadway. But her trail in the acting world is hard to follow. Strangely, there is another well-known Yvette Curtis today. This Yvette lives in the United Kingdom and is the founder of a popular surfing club called Wave Wahinis, which helps empower girls and women through the sport. Could the young actress from Harlem have moved to England and started a new life by the ocean? Or is it just a coincidence of 2 women sharing the same name? The answer remains a mystery. The story of David Kruger, who played the son Paul, is just as confusing. After his role in Claudine, the young actor seems to have done very little else in Hollywood. But there is a very famous French voice actor also named David Kruger. This man is a huge star in France, known for being the official French voice for American actors like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Will Ferrell. He has provided the voice for hundreds of blockbuster movies. Is it possible that the young boy from Claudine moved to France and became a famous voice actor, or is it another incredible coincidence? Finally, there are the 2 youngest children. The son Francis was played by Eric Jones, and the youngest daughter Lurleen was played by Socorro Stevens. For these 2, the trail goes completely cold. After Claudine, they have almost no other acting credits to their names. They vanished from public life, becoming the perfect example of what happens to most child actors. They have a brief moment in the spotlight and then return to a normal life, leaving fans to wonder whatever happened to them. The 6 children of Claudine represent the entire Hollywood journey, from lasting stardom to a complete disappearance. The feud that never was.
But there's one thing you better know, and that is, I love all of you.
When people hear about secrets from a classic movie set, they often expect to hear stories of drama and conflict. They imagine famous actors who did not get along or big fights that happened when the cameras were off. Many YouTube videos and articles are dedicated to uncovering these Hollywood feuds. So, what was the big feud on the set of Claudine? Who hated whom? The truth is the biggest secret of all. There was no feud. There were no fights, no screaming matches, and no secret dislike between the stars. In fact, the set of Claudine was the exact opposite. It was a place of friendship, respect, and a shared emotional purpose. The reason for this unusual harmony goes back to the film's tragic beginning. The entire cast and crew were united by the memory of Diana Sands. Diane Carroll was not just a co-worker to James Earl Jones. She was the dear friend of his other dear friend, Diana. They were both there to fulfill Diana's dying wish and to make the movie she believed in so deeply. This shared mission created a powerful bond between them. Their connection on screen was not just good acting. Critics and viewers noted that the chemistry between Claudine and Roop felt incredibly real, warm, and lived in. This was a direct result of the immense trust and mutual respect the 2 actors had for each other off-screen. They were partners in a very important project. This feeling of family extended to the rest of the cast. Diane Carroll was known for being warm and welcoming to the 6 young actors who played her children. She would often let them hang out in her dressing room between scenes, making them feel comfortable and included. The atmosphere on set mirrored the story of the film itself, a group of people coming together to support one another through difficult times. So, the great secret of the Claudine cast is not a story of conflict, but one of unity. In an industry that often thrives on drama, the real story behind this movie was one of love and friendship forged in the face of loss. The feud that so many might expect to find simply never existed. The story of Claudine is more than just a classic film. It is a story of a promise kept. The biggest secret fans never figured out was not a hidden scandal or a bitter rivalry. It was the quiet, heartbreaking truth that the movie's existence was a tribute to a brilliant woman who never got to see her dream come true. The powerful performances were fueled by real emotions of loss and friendship. The cast's journey from the Oscar-nominated star who was a last-minute replacement to the children who followed wildly different paths shows us that the most dramatic stories in Hollywood often happen long after the cameras stop rolling.